On August 6, 1897, the merchant vessel Demeter was spotted washed up on the shores of England. Along with it, a captain's log was discovered by the police in the wreckage. Just a month prior to this, the Demeter had stopped at the port of Varna, Bulgaria, loading its cargo for transit to London. The delivery, composed of multiple bulky wooden boxes, is being taken by locals from Romania. Not wanting to stay in the area past sundown, they decline to aid in loading the ship. Wishing the team good luck, they depart. While nearby, Dr. Clemens overhears that the vessel is in need of additional crew members. He tries to persuade the team that his experience in medicine and astronomy studies from Cambridge would make him a great addition to the crew. However, Wojciech, the first mate, rejects him initially. Then he swiftly rescues Toby, the captain's grandson, from certain danger of being crushed. The ship's captain, Elliot, was so impressed with Clemens that he asked him to join the crew, filling the spot of someone who had just quit when they spotted the dragon emblem on the crates. Sailing in the Aegean Sea, Clemens and Olgren noticed a strange figure in the fog on board. Unexpectedly, one of the containers tumbled and shattered in the cargo hold. Clemens investigates and uncovers a woman buried in the dirt, barely alive. He performs a blood transfusion to try and treat her infection. The following evening, tragically, all the animals aboard the ship, including the beloved Huckleberry, are found dead. Due to the fear of rabies, the crew casts the animals into the sea. Anna, the clandestine traveler, awoke and exhorted them about a beast from Transylvania. It was a being that gorged on the blood of mortals. They had labeled it Dracula back in her hometown. So that the fiend would not disturb them, Anna had been offered as his devoted minion of blood. The crew member reveals that Dracula is already aboard and seeking to feed, and shows off her multiple bites from the monster. During the night, the creature stalks the crew and bites Olgern, converting him into a vampiric minion. The unfortunate being is then bound to a table to restrain him. One night he manages to escape and discovers Toby in the hold. He begins to hunt him and locks him up in the captain's quarters with Dracula. The crew quickly rushes to rescue Toby, but before they can, Toby is bitten by the vampire. When the sun rises the next morning, Olgren, who had been bound to the mast by the crew, is set on fire. Despite blood transfusions his grandfather had given him, Toby ultimately succumbed to death and was wrapped in sailcloth for his sea burial. During the service, the captain thought he saw movement from the body, deciding to unwrap it, and only to find Toby with his eyes open, lunging towards him. Toby, the vampire, is set ablaze by the sun's rays and causes severe burns to his grandfather too, before the team managed to toss him into the sea. Desperate to prevent the havoc Dracula could cause in London, the remaining crew devise a plan to sink the vessel and drown him. Captain Elliot, Abrams and Wojciech are all killed by Dracula, and Anna is bitten trying to save Clemens. In a heroic act, Clemens saves her by striking Dracula with an axe. Eventually, Anna is able to crush the vampire with a mass fragment, and her and Clemens flee the ship, believing the vampire is finished. But before being submerged, the ship strikes ashore on the British coast, enabling Dracula to tear the mast from his being and roar in triumph. Anna and Clemens drift away in the remains of the vessel. Anna discloses to Clemens that Dracula's bites have caused her to transform into a vampire, with Clemens' blood transfusions only stalling the process. As dawn nears, determined not to become a creature like Dracula, Anna chooses to end her own life by burning herself in the sun before Clemens arrives at the shore. Clemens arrived in London and made his way to a nearby tavern. He took out his notebook and began sketching a portrait of Anna. While he was sketching, Clemens heard what he knew to be the knocking signal of the Demeter's crew. Looking up, he caught sight of Dracula, standing there wearing the garb of an aristocrat, and laughing at him. Then, before Clemens had the chance to act, the vampire vanished. As Clemens exited, he noticed a vampire silhouette and decided to pursue it, vowing to take revenge for his fallen comrades.